I have a question. Will you will you marry me? That's sweet. But no, I'm sorry. Hi everyone, it's Justine. This summer setting all over is because today probably was the hottest day of the year in Germany, so let's call it a summer Q&A. I selected some of the 300, 400 questions that you guys sent in 2 videos ago, so last week, and I tried to select various topics so that no matter what you are interested in particular, you'll find something in this video that speaks to you, that interests you. Okay, let's go. First question. What item in your wardrobe is your all-time favorite and why? I'm gonna say 2 things, which you probably don't expect, but it's gonna be a bit more fun than saying a purse or something. The first one is tights, sport tights that I got in my first winter of rowing. I was rowing a lot when I was a teenager, young adult. I rowed many years of my life. I used up those pants in the knee areas by rowing in them. Like the rubbing of my skin onto the fabric actually used up the fabric. That's how many kilometers I've rode in those pants. It's a lot of memories attached to them, and even though those pants don't have any value, I love them because of that. And the other item is a pullover, wool, Scottish wool pullover that was handed down to me from my grandfather. Classic cut. It's actually too big for me, but I don't care. It has a V-neck, which is timeless. It's great quality. It's at least 70 years old and it looks impeccable. And it's the warmest pullover I own by far. How do you deal with bad, arrogant, asshole-ish people in your work environment with whom you have to work together? The fashion industry must be full of those. Thanks in advance if you answer my question. Heart. They are assholes. In fashion, like in any other industry, I don't think there are more incompetent and not nice people in my industry than in others. It's just a myth built by the media and some designers who are divas indeed and who have a damageable effect on the reputation of the entire industry, unfortunately. But they're not the majority by far. So I have my own label. I do not have to work with people I don't want to work with. I have suppliers whom I trust, who trust me. We have a great relationship. I stick with those ones and I leave all the others out of sight, out of mind. I think it's one of the founders of Google who said, surround yourself with smart and positive people. That's exactly what I tried to do. I think it would be great to hear something about your earrings collection. I absolutely love the ones you're wearing in your videos. Thank you. I have something with earrings too, with jewelry in general. Maybe you noticed in previous videos. I can't talk about this right now. I'll be able to share more with you in the next weeks or month. That's all I can say for now. Astrology. What is your zodiac sign? I'm a Libra. You mentioned that you're tall with long legs. How tall are you? Correction, I'm tall with short legs. Comparatively to my overall height, my torso is actually really long. I'm 179 meters or 5 feet 11 if you count the other way. Do you speak German? If yes, how long did it take to learn? If no, how do you run your business? I would guess the person who asked that question is German. Are you German? Because you have like the question and then answer 1 detail, answer 2 details. All the possibilities are included in the question. I like that. Structure is good. There was also another question on the languages that I speak. So my mother tongue is French. Both of my parents were French. Then I learned English and German in junior high school. I had Latin, Greek, but I dropped those really fast. They're completely useless, I think. No offense if you learn those languages. Greek is pretty. In university, I learned Japanese so that I could do an exchange semester in Japan. I did it. It was fantastic. When I started to work, after a couple of years, they sent me to Chile. There I learned Spanish. And this year, I started learning Arabic. That's the whole story. Hold on. Anna Justine. أسكن في برلين. أنا لا أشرب قهوة كل يوم. Did that make any sense? Please SOS with bras. Yeah, this question, I took it in on purpose so that I can officially tell everyone here that I am working on this topic. It's one of the most requested topics on my channel of all times. I need an assistant to do that. I need to find a way to do it and demonstrating how to fit the bra without getting flagged and banned from YouTube for pornographic reasons and inappropriate content. So we'll probably do that on a dress form. And I need an assistant to do the camera and the lighting, because I can't do both if I'm busy in front of the camera. If you know somebody who knows how to film, do the lighting, has time this summer and is based in Berlin, please let me know in the comments or send me an email. I gladly hire that person. Thank you for your help. I wonder what made you choose Berlin instead of Paris, and how you have integrated in such a different culture and country. Okay, 2 questions in one. The first part of the question, why Berlin instead of Paris? Paris already has a fixed identity and established fashion houses. Berlin is still looking for its identity, which I think is very inspiring as a creative person, and it doesn't have an established fashion scene, so there is room for new ones to come. I was a new one, I was deciding where to settle down, so I thought Berlin had more potential for me, a better fit. How I integrated? Before living in Berlin, I was in New York. Before New York, I was in Hamburg, which is in Germany. It's the second largest city after Berlin, so it was actually pretty easy. It's the second country I knew best after France, so it was easy. My question, when will you be showing us your updated bullet journal? I really loved watching your first video and I'm eager to see how it looks now. You're not the only one. Guys, I have to confess something. I failed the bullet journal thing completely by lack of time and discipline. My bad, my mistake. I didn't strictly use only this one. I kept taking notes in a multitude of notebooks, so it didn't become this one place where I keep everything as I intended it to be. And I started to work on projects that I can't share yet, so I couldn't do a flip through video to show you at least what's in there. I've been having a rough couple of weeks. I have a few more to come, not on the YouTube side, but on the other side, on the fashion label side. Once I get through that, it's going to calm down a little bit. I am definitely doing that experiment a second time. We'll call it Bullet Journal Setup Second Trial, and I will definitely share that one with you. Promise. Do you think Haute Couture Fashion Week influences trends and fast fashion retailers as much as ready-to-wear Fashion Week does? Good question. I'd say no, because haute couture involves so much handwork, hand sewing techniques that are not replicable in production, in industrial production. So if you're a cheap retailer or a fast fashion retailer, you're trying to keep your costs low. You don't want anything that's complicated to replicate. So you're going to copy rather ready to wear because it's easier to copy. What is your favorite aspect of Japanese fashion or culture? Did your time in Japan influence your design aesthetics? I love the questions. Such good questions that you sent me. Thank you. Japanese fashion, yeah. I spent 1 semester in Japan, this you heard before. Perfect. It changed not just my design aesthetics, but my complete way of seeing the world. It broadened my horizon big time. I loved especially the way subcultures and countercultures develop and experiment with fashion up to levels that I had never seen before in Europe or anywhere else. And Japan was, at that point when I got there, the most different culture I had ever seen. So it put my entire world upside down. And what I learned, mainly from my time there, is to consider one culture compared to others. And I think by comparing, you learn more than by investigating only one culture more in depth. And I still think that way today, I think. If you follow my channel, you probably noticed that. I like to see, okay, compared to Germany, or to the US, how would French people think? And that's how I started that series, actually. What advice did your mom or grandmom give you that you still follow? The best thing my mom ever taught me, since I was little, she said, do whatever you want in life, but do it really, really well. It sounds silly or useless, but that's a very good piece of advice, actually. To that, I would add, do anything you want that's legal and morally okay. And you get my own life motto. Do you ever think that you're in a profession which pays so much emphasis on vanity? Thank you for asking this question. There are a few people in this industry, like fashion editors who think they're on top of the world, a few divas, a few famous designers who play with that image because it works commercially, and then you have the majority of the people, those who are not in the spotlights, the rest, the huge majority of that industry, who are actually great craftspeople who love what they do, who create garments that are meant to be functional or meant to be works of art, depending on the vision, right? But they are great at what they do. They're not divas. They're really, really good craftspeople. We should hear more from them, but they don't have a voice and they don't want to step into the spotlight. That's the problem. Have you ever experienced pessimism or backstabbing in the industry? Has anyone ever doubted you and told you that you would never be successful? If so, how have you overcome such negativity? Heart. Yes and yes. So backstabbing. People who told me, oh, but you're switching from a business life to a fashion life. But you're not creative, are you? Oh, that's for creative people. Or you're way too structured. You should get back to business. That's a quick extract of all the crap I heard, even coming from friends and family. Once you're in a box, it's really hard to switch boxes. And I started in business, I worked in business. It went okay. I had a good career start. And people had told me before that I wouldn't make it in business either. So the second time around, when I said, I'm going to switch from business to fashion, when people started again saying, are you sure? I was like, honey, I heard that the first time. Not this time, not with me. And I was curious to see if I could make it. I wasn't thinking, hey world, watch me become the next Alexander McQueen. But I thought if I don't try it, I will never know. And regrets are worse than failures. That's something my mom taught me. I notice most German women don't tuck their shirts entirely in their pants, but only the front in order to reveal the loops of their belts. Do you know why they do that? To show the brand? I barely see this trend in neighboring countries. True. So here's my opinion, completely subjective opinion. It is expected in many jobs in Germany that you wear a shirt, also as a woman, but it's not so cool. It's really conservative, especially if you tuck it in completely all around. If you tuck it in at the front, you look okay and tidy from the front. It also shortens your torso. But at the back, you leave it outside, it looks cool and more casual. That would be my explanation. Should Apple body types wear belts? I get that question often. Here's the thing. Most Apple-shaped ladies regret not having a marked waist. So the belt is one way of marking your waist so that you build body proportions and you can decide at which level you put the belt, so you decide at which level you want to put your waist. That's practical. It doesn't have to be a belt if you feel uncomfortable wearing a belt. If you wear a dress, for instance, where you have one color at the top and then at the waist level an horizontal line and then another color downwards, you have the same visual effect. It doesn't have to be a belt. It's about showing where you want your waist to be, so to speak. Can you talk about what we need to consider when letting our hair go grey? Is it flattering on certain skin tones and undertones more than others? Should we make changes to the colors in our wardrobe? Another frequently asked question. I have the feeling, you may very well disagree with me, that when the hair naturally becomes grey, it tends to be a rather cooler grey. So if you're cool toned, if your undertone is cool, you're fine, it's matching. If your undertone is warmer, you might feel that your hair is making you look paler than you used to be. If that's the case, you have two options. Change the hair or change the wardrobe. If you want to change the wardrobe, you have a great opportunity to try out new colors and change the dominant colors in your wardrobe. It's a very fun game. Or you look into new hair colors. It doesn't have to be a color like blonde, brown, black or anything. It can be another gray. And there are gray dyes from cool to warm and everything in between. So if you feel that your hair is not matching your undertone anymore, look into that. When we're told not to wear more than 2 to 3 colors, does that include different shades of a color? I think you're referring to my video in the French series where I said French people usually, in general, don't mix more than 2 to 3 colors in one outfit. Usually in general, French people do whatever they want and you're free to do the same. I would say it depends. If you're wearing navy blue and pastel blue, they're really different, also in intensity. I would probably count them as 2 different ones. If you're wearing navy blue and medium navy blue, like just 2 shades lighter or darker, they look quite similar. I would count that as 1 probably. And if the third color that you're wearing is yellow, those 2 blues are going to look super similar anyways. So I'd say it depends on your tastes and how contrasted you are in life. I have a question. Will you will you marry me? That's sweet. But no, I'm sorry. And I think that's it for today. Did you find this entertaining? Did you find a bit of each topic? I hope so. Thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Should we do a Q&A thing like this, like once a season? Is that a good rate? I see you every Wednesday and Sunday with new videos. Until then, take care guys, and thanks for the questions. Bye bye.